They assemble at night, each one having prepared as diligently as possible the time given to them before the witching hour, the hour of reckoning, the time when they begin outdoor cartoon television. Stray Casts is on the air.
Fish it out.
We are the victims of the science age, the rulers of the storm. No one rules Wednesday nights like us. The atomic bass punks. Oh, yeah. Woo! That's it right there. We're live again. We're back. It feels like an eternity. But we are back once again.
It's been 1 week.
It's been 1 week. 1 week since What's that song?
I don't know that one.
It's something like Sublime or something. Not even close to that.
Yeah.
It's
Bare Naked Ladies. Why are you singing Bare Naked Ladies?
I don't even know who they are.
Stop doing that.
It's stuck in my head. Hey, I'm your host, Pat Renwick. It's another jam-packed, fun show, full of fun stew and giggles dumplings. I mean, that's what's going on here again tonight. Hey, huge show. Not going to kid you. Pretty excited about this one. Huge.
Huge.
Coming up first, Mr. Smiley, Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky, our buddy coming to us. I think he's over in New York. He's over in upstate New York right now. Our bud, Charlie Hartley, coming on first. Yeah. Charlie Hartley coming at us first. And then live from the iCast. Not just iCast, the iCast. The old Cajun baby. First time ever on this little soiree right here. Cliff Crochet coming at us from the iCast. That's 740. I'm pretty stoked about that. Who knows what Cliff's got worked up for us. We have no idea. We have no idea at all. Hey, but I want to tell you the players in this ball game here tonight, this Bass and Ball game. This dude, right? What is that?
What?
What was that? The storm? Is that the Travelers of the Storm once
that
again?
was the train.
We barely made it here tonight. There was a huge storm that came through here. It wiped out the internet. Papa Bruce Bergeron was up on top of the building, and he fixed everything in the nick of time with a makeshift weather vane.
Yes.
And now we are live worldwide on this web. The dark web only, though. So if you can't get us, that's because we're on the dark web. This guy right here to my right, he is the one and the only. You all know him as the Popcorn. Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. Yes. Woo. That's how you do it. That's how you popcorn right there.
How you doing, Pat?
I'm doing great, Ryan. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
hey,
it's good to be here.
The guy over here, he's our social media coordinator. That's a nice term, right? I mean, doesn't that
like
sound
that.
official?
Social media coordinator.
And he will be fielding your questions via the social media, live on Facebook and straightcast.net. Well, maybe not straightcast.net, but Facebook. But he's this guy over here. He's known as the HHF. Harry Humping. I can't say that word.
Henderson's?
Harry and the Humping
That's
Hendersons. Ladies and gentlemen, this is JP High, the hip-hop fisherman. He is amazing. Have you met you, JP? Have you met you?
Yeah.
Have you met you?
I'm the man.
You are amazing. That's JP High. He's the hip hop fisherman. He is one of the most extra crispy producers in this whole bassin biz. In fact, he got he tied for the extra crispy award that I gave out over the weekend. Him and Brian Stockel, they tied. It was an even draw. This is the Ginger Ninja, Andrew Ellenberger, right here. Yeah. He produces the hell out of this thing. He's the screw lock on the dem jig that keeps the trailer afloat.
He just turned a knob.
He did. He turned knobs and made sounds. It's a live studio audience. Hey,
Doing stuff.
A lot of great things happened to us in this week, last week. First off, we are super proud, sincerely proud to announce our partnership with Alpha Angler Rods. Yes, Alpha Angler. Give it up for them. That's the studio audience. That's how you do it. Right there. Yeah. AlphaAngler.com. We've officially paired with them. Not going to kid you. Probably the finest fishing rods in the market. And I know it sounds like a sales pitch, but man, you got to check them out. AlphaAngler.com. Not Alpha, but AlphaAngler.com. Basically custom-made fishing rods for you, the fisherman, technique-specific, bass-tested, mother-approved.
They all got cool names, too.
They do.
Yeah.
They're amazing. Also, if you notice, we're not going to say much yet, but we're drinking out of these mugs here tonight, and they have this logo on them with a T and an H and a Marine right here. Thank you to Mean Gene Eisman from TH Marine for sending these our way. Do I got the logo right? Is the logo right on the monitor?
I think he got it upside down.
Spin it a little bit. It's right there, TH Marine. From trolling motor to transom, TH Marine right there. Hey, we got all that out of the way. Hey, I want to say a special hello to an amazing angler watching us tonight. Let's give a warm, loud, round studio audience round of applause for Dan Welch. Dan Welch is watching us from FLA, from Florida. Hi, Dan Welch. Glad you could join us. Hey, you know what's amazing also? Power poles. Put them down. Mm-hmm. Don't go anywhere, because we're coming back with smiling Charlie Hartley. See you in a minute. Quality, dependability, consistency, and fish-catching performance is what separates a War Eagle spinnerbait from the pack. Hand-assembled, inspected, and tested in Rogers, Arkansas, War Eagle lures are the choice of Mike McClellan, Andy Morgan, Edwin Evers, and you, the serious bass angler. War Eagle lures, when you absolutely have to catch fish. Find War Eagle lures at your local tackle store or visit wareaglelures.com today. PH Custom Lures by Phil Hunt are quickly becoming the most sought-after custom balsa baits in the industry, from the Little Hunter to the Squeaky P. These baits are pure quality, handcrafted, hand-carved, and hand-painted. But most importantly, they flat-out catch fish. PH Custom Lures has a bait for any situation in a magnitude of colors. Check out the Old School, Straighter, and PH Custom series at phcustomlures.com. That's phcustomlures.com.
Let's take a stray cast. We're gonna fish it out.
Welcome back. Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm Pat Renwick. This guy sitting next to me is Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, and I think right now on the Skype machine, we may or may not have the legend. I'm calling him a legend. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Charlie Hartley right here. Woo! What's going on? Are you there, Charlie?
Oh, I am. Can you see me?
I can't see you. Did you answer using the video icon?
I did.
What the heck is going on?
I think we just
Why
got a
don't
weak
you have
connection.
him-
Oh, there's
Oh,
Charlie.
There he is.
Yeah, we got you, Charlie. There he is.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
All right. How's that?
That's upside down, Charlie Hartley.
You
right now.
got it sideways.
You are you're very ergonomic. Is that a word?
Nope.
Wait, oh,
Halfway
there's-
back.
Up, other way back, quarter turn. That's better than upside down Bill dance.
Right there.
Oh, there you are, Charlie
Right.
Hartley. You did it. Yes, you're always.
Hey,
What?
good to see you. We're in the boat, and I hope there's enough light left that I can show you. I left rods out on the deck, and I know you like to play, but we'll make this a little informational about catching smallmouth.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah. I'm speaking your language there. Because the smallmouth hate me, Charlie. I don't know why, but they hate me for some reason. I love them. I love them dearly. But for some reason, I think it's my
You don't show them enough
it's
attention.
my pheromones, I think. I think that's what it is.
Got to show them attention.
Yeah, I don't show them enough attention. And I catch them on accident, Charlie. But, hey, welcome back to the show, dude. It's great to have you, man. Where are you right now?
I'm at one of the Finger Lakes. I won't disclose which one because the fishing's so good. I don't need any company. But I went from Mr. Iconelli's tournament where I got to see you. It was a pleasure to see you and Ginger Man.
Yes.
Ginger, on the battleship. And I went from there to one of the Finger Lakes to wait for my big truck to get repaired. I went through a transmission on the way home from Oneida week before Iconelli. So I've been fishing like every day. My wonderful wife, Tracy, thank you, Tracy, brought me her truck. We always make her buy a backup vehicle that's a tow vehicle, so we're 24/7. That's Bassmobile number 2.
Nice.
And she's been hanging out in the hotel while I've been fishing the Finger Lakes, and you've been seeing some of the pictures I've been seeing.
Oh yeah, dude, you've been wrecking them, man. You've been finger banging. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you've been catching them. There's no doubt, man. You love those smallmouth. I mean, and I'm gonna say this sincerely. I don't think that I've ever met a professional fisherman that conveys as much enthusiasm for, I'm not going to say the sport, but just the art of angling. You know, we all love bass fishing. That's why people are watching this show. That's why we are here in the studio. That's why you are here tonight. But you convey it, man. There's a certain glow about Smiling Charlie Hartley. There really is.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm very fortunate. I get to spend a lot of hours on the water, and thank God for fishing. I was going to do something very hard and repetitive. I had that gene in my body, and thank goodness catching a fish gives me the greatest rush of anything I've ever tried. And I get to do it a lot, and I really take my art, and you say it correctly, the art of fishing, I take it seriously. It's my life's work. And it's really a pleasure to have a few days where there isn't a tournament where anyone judges you for your life's work because you don't bring a bag to the weigh-in stand. And when the pressure's off like that, you get to have a lot more fun and you try things that you'd never try in a tournament. You know, when you're practicing for a tournament and under the stress of a tournament, your mind isn't nearly as open. And when you're out here play fishing with nothing to prepare for, you'll pick up a spook and throw it in the middle of the lake. You'll pick up a whopper plopper. You'll do things that wouldn't necessarily be great tournament moves. But it's amazing in this sport when you do things like that. Sometimes they would be great tournament moves. That's the neat thing about our sport, is it's unlimited. The biggest 5 fish are always still in the lake. There's a bigger limit to be caught than what the winner caught, which is the neatest thing about our game.
This is when you learn. It's when you're out there just goofing off, right?
It's when you learn, and it's when you realize you can break all the rules. I sent you pictures catching smallmouth in the middle of the lake at 1 in the afternoon, bluebird skies, flat calm, 80 degrees out. Isn't that awesome?
Dude, I mean, it is, and you're willing to take, when you're not in a derby, when there's not money on the line, when there's not points on the line, you, as many anglers are, willing to take that risk. Yet we see it time and time again, Charlie. It's oftentimes that the winners of these derbies are the ones that are willing to take those risks on the water, aren't they?
Yes, one of my biggest tournament flaws is I'm very conservative. I'm scared to death during a tournament, and I fish very conservatively. I have to go somewhere where I've caught a fish recently. Very hard for me to think outside of the box during tournament competition, and that's what separates the men from the boys a lot of times.
Charlie, you fish where you're from. You fish a lot of really tough fisheries. I want to know, how do you have any mind games you play with yourself when you're you're fishing for just 5 bites, and you know that, so it might be 2-3 hours in between a bite. Are there any mind tricks that you play to keep your head in the game in between bites?
I don't have that problem because I have a passion for fishing. When I was younger, I couldn't stay focused, but I can now. But I'll tell you that one of the things I do in a derby on a hard fishery is try to be more efficient or more prepared than any of my competitors. Sometimes there's only 5 little fish to be caught. So if you can keep your line in the water more, or if you can, have more lures pre-rigged or make more casts than the next guy, those are the kinds of things that come into play. I'm going to show you something real quick that lends itself to that. Can you see those?
Not yet. I just see a Ranger logo.
Okay. How about now? Okay, this. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's for pre-rigging Carolina rigs.
Wow.
And this one's for pre-rigging drop shots.
Mm-hmm.
And
Look at you.
When you're out in the middle of the lake and you're Carolina rigging around a bunch of zebra mussels and you break off all the time, a Carolina rig takes several knots to re-rig, but if your leaders are pre-rigged, you can get back in the water quicker than the next guy. So those are things you can do in the hotel the night before that don't cost you time on the water during the tournament.
Sure. Excellent. So pre-rigging the balls and chains.
I do the same thing with the drop shots. There's nothing worse than trying to rig that thing up when you're in a hurry.
Especially in waves.
I usually just forget about it. Just say, I'm not drop shotting anymore. I break it off.
Yeah.
It's over.
Bad plan. Now, if that's
Right.
how you're catching them, that's a bad
Exactly.
Dude, that is awesome. Hey, I'm chomping at the bit. Let's look around that boat a little more, Charlie.
Yeah. Can you see this?
I just see the top of your... Okay, all right, gotcha. Oh, there it is.
That's organized.
You are very organized. Oh, there's a
skateboard.
There's a skateboard.
What is that board, Charlie?
He doesn't use drift socks. He uses skateboards.
That's a Tony Hawk. That's a new Tony Hawk, or a birdhouse. Birdhouse bird poop logo. Okay, can you see the little Sammy?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
I do see that right there.
I was fishing a speed crawl a lot. And, I fish it 3 different ways for smallmouth. I Carolina rig it, I shaky head it, and I use it behind a football head jig. And you can even fish it behind a biffle head, if you know what I mean, a swing
Absolutely.
head. A great smallmouth bait, very underrated smallmouth bait. That's a real versatile bait. And don't ever underestimate a Carolina rig. And I'll tell you a trick on a Carolina rig in smallmouth lakes with grass in it.
Yes.
Really long leader. You'd be amazed how long leader can change the amount of bites you get in these kind of lakes that have smallmouth and, grass in them.
Sure.
Is that just because you want it floating up above the grass?
Now, contrary to popular belief, your bait does not float above the grass. It has something to do within these natural lakes getting the bait further away from the weight, I believe. But I don't know why. But you don't argue with something that adds more bites, I
Right.
fished with a guy once that showed me that. A lot of these tricks in my boat were things that I learned from a co-angler or one of my peers. That's how we add to our arsenal.
Sure, it's a constant evolution. I mean, if you don't continue to learn in this sport, you're done. You're absolutely done.
How long are we talking here? Like 5
Can you see
feet?
this one? Let's see.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
What do we got here?
That has been killer this week. Just a half-ounce football head jig. There it is.
Okay.
With a speed crawl behind it. And believe it or not, dipping those little pinchers in red or orange may or may not add to the bite. I think it does.
I think it does too. I'm religious with that. I can't not do that. People are like, "You're nuts, dude." And the secret one is the chornge. Do you know about the chornge, Charlie?
Yeah, and I'll tell you another thing. A real cheap dye marker is a red Sharpie pen. Works better than you would think for dyeing tails.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a regular red Sharpie pen. I mean it.
Now, those are the regular speed craws, not the super speed craws, right?
That's correct. Yep, that's correct. For smallmouth, I prefer the little one. Like on a swim jig or something for largemouth, I would use the super speed crawl a lot.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm not sponsored by Zoom, but every bass fisherman that's on the tour fishes Zoom baits.
We all own them. I mean,
or not.
we do,
Yeah.
man. I mean,
Yeah, they make great baits. They make great baits.
from the chunks to the flukes, the whole deal.
There's a lot of Zoom in my boat. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So when do you throw the super speed craw? The fat one.
Yeah, mainly as a swim jig trailer.
There you
I like
go.
that one as a swim jig trailer.
Dude,
It makes a great down in Florida. That's the neat thing about speed craw, so versatile. We punch that same little ultra vibe speed craw, through mats in Okeechobee. So you catch smallmouth on it, you catch big largemouth on it in Florida. Real versatile bait.
And that is kind of something that a lot of touring professionals on both tours don't really talk about, but man, most of the guys are throwing that super speed crawl behind the swim jigs, man. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I want to tell you a couple dirty words. You want to hear them?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
here's a couple Charlie Hartley dirty words I learned from Charlie Hartley.
okay.
All right. The first one is Lake Martin. All right.
Yeah, for years it kept me from graduating up to the tour. It was on the invitational circuit like 3 years in a row, and I'd be right in position to make it up to the tour, and that sucker would burn my butt. But I had some really neat days on it, just not good enough.
But it kind of did, for lack of...
How'd you know that? You really did some research.
I know
didn't
all
you?
about you. I
You're
read
like
your
Howard
file.
Stern doing your research.
I got a whole team of unprofessionals that work
Yeah.
behind me.
That's what Howard would say.
And here's another dirty word. Matt Flippin. You're not the craziest about that, are you?
No, in Florida, I usually shy away from it whenever I can, although I've caught some beautiful fish flipping mats. It's just that it's really hard to compete against the best in the world at flipping mats if you're a novice. And
What's intimidating
like-
about it? What's intimidating to you about flipping mats?
It's to me a mat. All the mats look the same, but to a Florida guy, all those reefs out there behind me look the same, and to me, none of them look alike. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. I do real well in Florida, but it's usually not with braid in my hand. I catch a lot of fish down there on chatterbaits. I Carolina rig down there a lot. I dead stick a lot, and I fish a prop bait. Florida is one of my favorite places to catch giants on topwater. I
How
weighed a
about
10-pounder once in FLW on a prop bait, and I've weighed two 10-pounders in BASS competition, and one was at the Kissimmee chain, a 10-11 that came up on a prop bait, but I had to
Wow.
catch it on a Senko.
There's some magic about those prop baits in Florida too. I mean, going back to the old Devil's Horse, and our buddy Wesley Strader designed one for PH Custom Lures. That's there's the old Bagley twin spins.
Squeaky Pete.
Yeah.
Bango lure, yeah. One of the most exciting bites known to man is a prop bait bite. I've had fish in Florida where you didn't know if you should set the hook or drop the rod and run for the hills.
Why though?
Unbelievably violent strikes. And that smallmouth bite I told you yesterday when I got on that big topwater bite yesterday, the first one literally blew the Sammy 3 feet to the right. And when it did it, I thought it was throwing bait 3 feet to the right, but it was my bait it was throwing 3 feet to the right. And it missed it a second time, and the third time it flushed it. It had it all. It was unbelievable.
Man, and nothing like those smallmouth strikes, especially in those conditions you described, like flat calm, and then here it comes. Here it comes, the old demon.
Yep, and it seemed like there was one big one on each reef. It was almost within the first 5 casts of pulling up to a reef. And after that, you were wasting your time. You might as well go to another reef. It was almost like a big fish swim bait bite. If there was one on that reef, he was going to see it the first time it came across. It was so calm and so quiet. I think they heard it land on the surface. And a couple of the bites were the first time you try to walk it back and forth.
And isn't it amazing where you are right now in the part of the country that you're in right now, in those Finger Lakes? The fishing is so good, such fertile fisheries, and yet the pressure is still minimal. How is this? Around us, it's like fishing in Japan. There's 50 boats on top of you. You know why?
Yeah, the main reason the pressure's minimal is not only, are they out in the middle of nowhere and you're not near a big city, but for 8 months they're under ice. You guys are from a part of the world where your lakes are under ice for 4 or 5, 6 months. People don't realize a lake like Gunnersville gets fished 365 days a year. These lakes literally don't get fished for 6, 7, 8 months. You go to a lake like Champlain, and if there's not a tournament there, even during season, the parking lot at the ramp's empty. Other than some pleasure boaters. These lakes don't get molested like our metropolitan lakes do.
And the fish are dumber. We love them.
Fishing shows it. It's so much fun to catch them and not just cast.
Hey, we're doing this thing live on the book face here, and your fans have some questions for you, Charlie. What's going on, JP? What do they want to know from Charlie?
What's up, Charlie? We got
Hi, not much, buddy. How are you?
our buddy Chip is wondering, do you use straight fluorocarbon or braid to fluoro?
Great. I use both, and that's a great question. It depends on the tactic. If I'm casting with my spinning rod, I use braid to fluoro. If I'm just flipping the bail, like drop shotting or something where I don't have to manage the line, a lot of times I still use fluoro to fluoro. I use a little swivel, but I really believe sometimes braid is a negative without any stretch when you're fighting a smallmouth. But it's definitely a positive for casting and managing your line. So a lot of times when I drop shot, all I do is flip the bail. So I don't need braid on there. And I feel like I can fight a smallmouth better with straight fluoro than braid to fluoro. But braid to fluoro is definitely the way to go 80% of the time on a spinning rod. It's the deal. Absolutely.
So in lines with that, like when you were talking about those Sammies, are you throwing straight mono? Or are you going braid to mono?
Great question. If I'm throwing a big topwater bait, I throw braid to mono. If I'm throwing a little one like I am here on a small rod, I throw straight mono.
Straight mono.
14 or 17. Yeah.
We got Ray and Steve both want to know, can you still do a kickflip?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm even better. I'm better at like 360s, and I do a lot of half pipe still, and handstands and things to that effect.
And we got Josh watching. He wants to know about the James River. You won that event last year, and that's coming up around the corner. And we understand
August 3rd, dude.
if you don't want to give anything up, we understand.
Oh no, I give up everything. You know, Charlie. The way I won that tournament is just hard work, man. Like I do in every tournament. I don't have any secrets. Pay attention to the tide. Don't run the tide, but when you're fishing, pay attention to the tide. The tide positions the fish. Almost every single fish I caught was being influenced by the tide. And if something looks good, throw a bait at it. One of the best fish I caught during the tournament was something I had not flipped on, and I was running by it. And I said, if you don't flip that, you're an idiot. And I, shut the big motor off just in time to pitch at it and caught one of my best fish.
Awesome. Thank you,
Nice.
man.
Excellent. Hey, Charlie, I want to give a special shout out to a buddy of yours that's watching the show tonight, man. Your good buddy Dan Welch, amazing fisherman and a great friend, isn't he?
He's a BASS champion and such a good friend. We got time for a quick Dan Welch story?
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah, man. Everyone in fishing, and this, is like family. We all travel together like gypsies on the road.
Yep.
And my mom passed away when I was at a tournament. I was at her bedside until I had to leave for the tournament, and she passed away during the tournament, and the funeral was going to be after the first day weigh-in. It don't matter. I was many states away, and Bass helped me get weighed in early and get me to an airport, and I got to go to my mom's funeral, and my buddy Dan Welch and his wife were waiting outside the funeral in their Suburban, and they'd made up a bed in the back of the truck for me and said, you go to sleep, we'll have you back for the second day of tournament for the blast off. And they drove me all night, and I was at blast off the second day. How about that?
That's an amazing friend.
Without me being able to ask, he has pulled me out of more swamps and taken my trailer to me with more broken down motors than any man alive. He's a great man.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And he's watching the show right now. And so is Tracy, your better half.
She's put up with a rough week. We're waiting for my truck to get repaired, and she's letting me kind of vacation while we're waiting. It's the first time I've never been in a hurry for my truck to be repaired.
What's my favorite thing about Tracy is she's a fan of this Stray Cast show. We love her.
A fan of fishing, she really is. Bless her heart. She had no idea when we got married 20 plus years ago what she was getting into. She thought I was just a fisherman. She didn't know I was a bass head like you. And she has been all over the country with me. Bless her heart. Thank you, Tracy.
Hey, Charlie, what's your fondest moment on the water?
Oh, wow. That's
if you got to pick one
on the water. I'll tell a quick one here. I love this one.
Nice.
I was at Okeechobee once in a tournament. It doesn't matter, but I always tell this story because when it's really going well is when you put a really big fish in the live well, and I mean a big one, like a 7.5, 8 pounder, and you look at your partner and you say, it can't get any better than that. And you stand up and make a cast and you catch a bigger one. That is probably my fondest memory in fishing is when you actually say out loud, it can't possibly get better than this. And it does. That's the coolest thing. That's how cool our sport is.
Okay, now tell me the worst memory on the water.
Oh, I've lost so many fish that have broken my heart. I've had days where every single fish gets off. And we'll just go to a recent one. The second day at Oneida just a couple weeks ago, my co-angler gave me a shellacking like you don't deserve. And it makes you look at this sport that you spent your whole life trying to master and just shake your head. And it was his first Bassmasters ever. And it took everything for me not to get sarcastic and upset with how big a fish he was catching. And finally, later in the day, we had a flurry where we both caught him every cast. And it dawned on me, this dude was, he's going to be in the top 2 or 3. He's had the day of his life. and you got to share it with him. As much as I wanted to be upset about having a crappy day and not getting the points I wanted, I got to watch this guy have the best day he's ever had on the water. And it didn't matter if he threw over there or if he threw over there. He was going to catch the biggest one on the reef.
And that's embedded in his mind forever, Charlie, just as it is in yours, man. That's paying it forward, dude.
Priceless memories.
That's why you're smiling Charlie Hartley.
Yeah.
That's why you are smiling Charlie Hartley. There's no doubt about it. Hey, now I would like you to do this for me. Describe to me the ultimate jig bite. Just describe a jig bite, man. I know you love it. You're a freak about it. Describe it. Get as passionate as you can.
Yeah, and I even got shellacked a couple weeks ago on a jig while I was trying to drop shot. A smallmouth eat a jig a whole lot different than a largemouth, but probably the greatest jig bite is when I'm largemouth flipping, and I love flipping a jig to wood. And the greatest bite is the one you don't feel. It's when you lose contact with your jig, and it all adds up in your brain, and you know when you swing that rod, you haven't even felt anything yet.
Right.
But you know when you swing that rod, it's going to double. Because you've done this long enough, and when that jig disappears or you lose contact with it, you know it's no 12-incher. It's one that just took it down its gullet, and you're going to bend your rod.
It's a wrist herder.
That bite, too, though, can be a heartbreaker because if you don't reel up fast enough, you can whiff. You know,
you
swing against all that slack, and you're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, you're right, but I've done it long enough to, when it adds up in my brain what's going on, I pick up that slack, and he gets to feel Charlie Hartley set the.
Charlie, when we were hanging out at Ike's deal there, you said, "Hey, when I come on the show, man, I won't play a game show."
Oh, there you go.
I mean, I love that you're a fan, dude. I love that you're a fan of this dumb show. And by golly, I'm gonna shellac you with a game show. All right, ready? We're gonna play a little game called the Bassin Match Game. Are you ready, Charlie?
Ready.
I see you got your thinking cap on, so let's get this going. Ah, yes, it's the Bassin Match Game with bass fishing professional Charlie Hartley, straight from the Finger Lakes of New York. Okay, Charlie, the first word to you is red-eyed reaper. Red-eyed reaper.
Lazy Ike.
Lazy Ike. Okay, we'll give that to him. We'll give that to him. Boat food. Boat food.
Cheese crackers.
Cheese crackers. Good old-fashioned cheese cracker boat food. Right there. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Change locations quicker and won the classic.
Ooh, that's a shoulda, woulda, coulda right there. You gotta dance with who brung you, whatever the hell that means.
That's what he did.
The Beethoven of Bassin. The Beethoven of Bassin.
Casey Ashley.
Casey Ashley. Okay, we're gonna give Casey Ashley that. He's got a couple fishing songs. Scoopernong. Scoopernong.
Oh, it's a wonderful worm color. I have plenty of them. Before Green Pumpkin. Yes, sir.
It was before Green Pumpkin, made famous by Harry and Charlie from Bassmaster magazine.
Down in South Carolina, they call it Scoopernong.
Scoopernong. We're from the north. We don't know any better. We don't know any better here, Charlie. Psychedelic sandwich. Psychedelic sandwich.
Well, that would probably be a robo-worm color.
A robo? Okay. Boy, they're going to steal that from you right now. They're gonna steal. That's a robo-worm color right there. Hey,
I usually do pretty well in Jeopardy. I don't think these are Jeopardy.
No, wait. I think let's get a consensus.
Give you
Charlie,
extra credit.
He won. Charlie Hartley won.
You won.
Yeah.
Extra credit for speedy responses, too.
Yes, you were very on the fly there. That was very good. Hey, Charlie, let's say you and Tracy are rolling down the road to a derby, wherever you're going. You're going home. You two lovebirds are rolling down the road, and the song comes on, man. If you had to pick a song that the two of you could jam out to, and you both just be singing at the top of your lungs, what's your jam? What is your jam, Charlie Hartley?
Mine would probably, on our first date, I played Steve Winwood, Back in the High Life.
Back in the High Life. Okay, there it is. I mean, that was a predecessor of things to come. Right there.
Hey, Charlie, if you could go back and choose whether or not to be a professional skateboarder or a fisherman, which one would you take? Would you stay the course?
Absolutely, fisherman. Absolutely. I love skateboarding, but fishing has been so wonderful. I'm sure skateboarding's been wonderful in people's lives, but to think that I've been on TV and have signed autographs because I can catch a fish, to me, is the neatest thing in the world, dude.
That is outstanding, dude.
Plus, you don't get hurt as much.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Skateboarding's.
I don't know, man. I almost broke my back doing this. This is really, this is tougher than you think. The Great Lakes will definitely destroy a person.
Oh yeah,
you'll get a shellacking. That's our word for today.
Shellac.
Hashtag Charlie Hartley shellacking.
Good band too.
It's right there. Charlie Hartley, what's your hopes and dreams?
To keep fishing for 100 more years like I have been. I have so much fun. I just wish I could live forever and do what I'm doing. And Tracy and I could just keep traveling the country, fishing tournaments, and going to charity benefits and being on the Stray Cast.
Dude, that is outstanding, man. And anything you want to say to your fans or your sponsors before we get out of here?
Thank you, everyone, for your support. I love to fish, and I'll always try harder than anyone out there.
You sure do, man. And you are smiling Charlie Hartley, dude. You're you got that glow. You got that glow, dude.
It was a pleasure to see you, buddy. Did you get to pull on any?
I did over at Ike's Pond. Yeah. We got to catch
I got to pull on a couple at the Delaware River, which was a surprise. I didn't think I'd get a pull on any, and that made the great day.
It was awesome, dude, and just a great thing, man. Great that you were involved in that whole Ike Foundation event, and obviously just a pleasure to see you every time, dude. Every time. And best of luck to you on August 3rd. That's the big day coming up, August 3rd.
Yes, I've never been a Bassmaster returning champion, I better step it up.
If the stars align and there's no shellacking going on, it's your derby to win, dude. It's your derby right there. Hey, Charlie, thank you so much again. And, dude, you are welcome on this show anytime. Anytime. You know that, right?
You call anytime. We'll go fishing and skateboarding.
Let's do it. We'll have a combo. I won't skateboard because I will definitely get hurt.
I will skate with you.
He'll skate. I'll
Come
fish.
to Chicago. We'll skate and catch big smallmouth.
There it is.
I know we will.
Yeah, we will. Charlie Hartley, thanks so much. Say hi to Tracy for us, and thank you again. Catch you on the water, bub.
Stay hi to Cliff, who's coming up. He's my buddy, too.
Yeah,
will do.
Will do, man. Hey, that's Smiling Charlie Hartley right here on the Stray Cast Show. I'm Pat Renwick, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. Put those power poles down. Don't go nowhere. The Cajun Baby, Cliff Crochet, coming at us from the iCast when we return.
I'm John DeMay with M Jigs. Today, I'd like to share with you a little bit about a couple products that we have in our lineup that we're really excited about. The first product I'd like to talk to you about today is the Joe Football Head Jig. Right out of the package, you'll notice that our football head jig is different than most on the market. What makes our jigs different is the quality of components. Let's start with the hook. These hooks are custom made for us in Japan. 90-degree bend, black nickel hooks, razor sharp, JDM quality. All of our Joe Football Head jigs have living rubber skirts. They're hand tied with copper wire to ensure that they stay affixed, and it also helps them to flare while they're in the water. we powder paint and heat cure each jig to ensure that the paint stays on your jig even when you're fishing rock. Another feature that separates our jig from other jigs on the market is the screw lock keeper. The screw lock keeper does a couple things for you. Not only does it keep your beta fixed, it'll save you money on soft plastics that pull off of standard barb keepers. The second product I'd like to talk to you about is our hybrid flip and swim jig. We also have a custom hook in our flip and swim jig. It's a 4/0 30-degree bend black nickel hook. It has the same durable paint, the same great keeper, and a hand-tied silicone skirt to complete it. So if you're looking for a premium product that's going to give you an edge over your competition, look us up at demjigs.com.
The swim jig technique is one of the most successful ways to put fish in the boat. Time in and time out, Brovani Baits swim jigs are just the right tool for the job. Beaming with quality, the Brovani swim jigs come in a myriad of colors, feature the best premium hooks and solid trailer keepers to give you, the serious bass angler, the confidence you need to accomplish your goal of putting more fish in the boat. So go to BrovaniBaits.com and start climbing the ladder to swim jig success.
Rageous Outdoors is quickly becoming the industry leader in tournament fishing apparel. There's no better way to represent your sponsors than with a Rageous jersey. At Rageous, you can get a short sleeve, long sleeve, sweatpants, the best prices in the industry. Rageous also offers club and team discounts, special high school and college pricing. Our website is easy to navigate, and Rageous' staff will make the process quick and easy for you. Rageous Outdoors, offering high-quality tournament apparel for the weekend angler. Outfit yourself from head to toe. Check out Rageous online at www.rageous.com.
Welcome back to Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. This is Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. We're going to go bass buzzing live from iCast with the spokesman for the Bassin Universe. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you the Cajun baby, Cliff Crochet. Yes. Woo. What up, Cliff?
What's going on?
What up, dude? Hey, I can't see you. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Hey, can you hit that video button on
Whoa.
There you go.
Oh, there, Cliff.
How about that?
Look at you. How about that? How about that? Cash you outside, man. How's the iCast treating you?
Our cast was it was good. A lot of good stuff. Saw a lot of people. But man, I feel like I walked about 6 miles today.
It's some good exercise, man. Now it's time to get whiskey bent and hellbound.
Not yet. Not yet. I've learned my lesson. You wait till the end of the week.
Wait till the end of the week. You don't want to burn
You
it
don't want to be in those bright lights.
So what's your favorite part about iCast so far?
Well, my favorite part so far is there's a new bait out from Lucky Strike.
What?
Happened to be called the Cajun Wake.
The Cajun.
Inspired by me.
By you, the one and only Cliff Crochet.
One and only. It's a wake bait, shallow diving crankbait that I've been wanting for a couple years, and finally got it. So that's the best thing I've seen.
Nice. So is it? Tell us a little more about it, dude. What's it like? A standard, like a 1.5 type body? Is a little snub noser? What is it?
No, it's a long. It's about 3.5 inches long.
Okay.
It's kind of long and skinny, kind of with a little.
Kind of like you.
Yeah. Back in the day. It's got like a concave body. You know, it's got a little curve to the body. It's got a little lip on it.
It's a humpback.
And the good thing about it pushes a lot of water. That's what.
I got you.
That's what really excites me about it. And like I said, I've been waiting on it for a couple years. And it's a bait I've thrown for the last couple years, but been kind of quiet with it. And now we finally get to bring it out. Bring it out to the world.
So is it kind of more like an old rippling redfin type kind of design like that? Or what?
No, it's kind of like a longer, fatter baby 1 minus kind of sort.
Oh, I got you. That's the one your teammate James Watson was telling everybody about, but he was calling it the J-Dub swim bait.
Yeah, he's crazy.
That's awesome, dude. So I mean, you're having the time, man. I mean, iCast is would you say it's a good time for all, or is this more like work?
No, it's a good time. It's almost like a reunion, somewhat, because you get to see the guys you fish against off the water. You get to see a bunch of cats that maybe you came up with, or friends that don't fish but work in the industry. So it's a cool deal. It's almost like going to summer camp, seeing how you go.
Hey, did you run into Skeet Reese yet?
I did.
You tell me about that later.
And for some reason, I said, "Skeet, what's up, buddy?" And he had this grin on his face, like something had happened to him Saturday night or something. I don't know. Like his phone was ringing.
He was like, "You motorboating son of a bitch, you." That's what he was like. That's awesome, man. Hey, let's do a little Cliff Crochet history, man. Why don't you give us a Cliff Crochet history lesson, okay?
A Cliff Crochet history lesson from the back, from way back.
Yeah, let's get from the origin of this superhero from the bayou.
Well, to go way back, born and raised on the bayou in Pierreport, hunted and fished with my old man just for fun. Nothing serious, just basic fishing. When I was about 12 years old, I got interested in learning how to catch fish. I got an older brother, and we'd go fishing in the evening times just for fun. No tournaments. I mean, he had 2 rods and a tackle box. I had 1 rod. But I just like fishing, and I like competition. I enjoyed playing sports, so I was able to bring both together.
There you go.
Did that up until, through high school. All I did was play sports, lift weights, and fish. And when I graduated high school, I took a little time off from fishing, went to the police academy, got me a steady job where I could make some money. And then from that point on, I just started fishing tournaments. Any tournaments I could find, open tournaments, BFLs, federations, anything. I did that for a couple years. And had some success. I didn't win a whole bunch, but I competed and won a couple tournaments. And in 2006 is what put me over. I led the points in the Louisiana BFL division, and I won the points in the Louisiana Bass Federation. So I contended for both titles in the state of Louisiana.
Awesome.
And that pushed me to fish the Central Opens. I fished the Central Opens in 2007, didn't get a check. Fished the Southern Opens in 2008, got 2 checks. And then in 2009, I went back to the Central Opens, finished second in the points, qualified for my first classic in the Elite Series. And here we are, in what seems like 5 seconds later, it's now 8 years later, on the Elite Series.
And here you are. Now you are a bass fishing superstar, dude.
And you were also the youngest state championship in Louisiana history, right?
To my knowledge, 22 is the youngest. At 20, I won it at 22, and that's the youngest to ever win. So
that's
awesome.
That probably won't hold much longer with the way these kids are now. But
yeah, they're too damn smart.
It's something I can hold on to for a little while.
They're getting college educations in bass fishing now.
They are. Speaking of college education and bass fishing, I want to thank Jared and Dave from Bass University for hooking you up with this modern technology, enabling you to come in on the Skype machine here.
Yeah. How about that? It's finally 2017. I got Skype.
Dude, you are moving up. And don't forget, you can watch Bass University live every day from iCast on Bass U Facebook page and on the Bass U website. Correct? Right, Cliff?
That's right. I think we're starting up tomorrow morning at 8:30. Me and Pete just bringing people in, different companies with new baits. And we're doing best of show winners tomorrow. So
nice.
That'll give a little insight to talk to the people that had big showings at iCast.
Now I'm going to give you a little insight right now. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, you ask Pete to say the word jabroni tomorrow. Ask him to say jabroni.
Jabroni?
Jabroni.
All right.
Yeah. Say, Pete, don't be a jabroni. All right? Yeah.
Am I gonna get punched in the face?
No. Pete'll love it. But I'm telling you. You promise you'll do it? You promise you'll remember?
I'll do it.
Okay. Say, don't be a jabroni.
Don't be a jabroni. I can do that.
That's all you got to say. Hey, Cliff, you've been at this bassing game for a little bit. You said it's been like a blink of an eye. But do you know how many pounds of fish that you have caught in BASS events? Do you have any idea?
Not enough. Not enough.
Not enough. But here's a little interesting tidbit. JP High, tell Cliff Crochet how many pounds of bass he's caught in his BASS career.
Cliff, you have caught 2,562 pounds of bass and 12 ounces.
2,562 and 12 ounces. 2,562 12 ounces of bass. Okay. Now, if we
that's
take
a bunch.
That's a bunch. That's a bunch of LBs, man. Now, if we take that and combine it with your winnings, I'm mathematizing the shit out of this right now. I hope you know that. But that equals $195 a pound. $195 a pound for Cliff Crochet. That's grade A.
That's sushi grade.
That is sushi grade bassing right there.
That's a nice number. That's what that's what I've made. That's what I've earned. The only problem is if it's $195 a pound, it costs about $194.50 a pound to catch that weight.
That's the truth, man. It's the truth. Bassing ain't easy, man. Hey, can you teach me some Cajun fishing words?
Some Cajun fishing words.
Yeah, teach me some Cajun fishing words. Teach everybody here some fishing words.
The one that's probably most underused that people need to know is probably shoe pick. That's the easy one.
Shoe pig.
Shoe pick.
What is that?
A shoe pick is like a grinnell or a dogfish or a mudfish.
I hate those damn things.
Yeah, shoe pick.
So you're saying shoe pick?
Shoe pick.
Are you saying Pam or Pan?
Pam.
Pan.
Greatest movie ever. Right
there it is. Yeah. So let's see. You're sponsored by K2 Coolers. We're going to give them a free little plug right now. Okay? K2 Coolers. Now, let's say that we're going to do a K2 Coolers commercial. And can you say, I'm Cliff Crochet for K2 Coolers, the best coolers in the land?
Well, let me give him a little sponsor plug here.
Okay.
They released some information here at Archives today, and K2 coolers now made in America, in the great state of Louisiana.
Oh, wow!
Nice.
Would you look at
How about
that? I mean, that's making it proud right there. Not only American made, but a fond place in your heart, Cliff Crochet, because they're from Louisiana, man.
And a hot
That's
place.
Yeah,
right down the road?
no doubt. Hey, now that you're a big bassin superstar, man, you know, like guys like Mike Tyson, you know, he's got like a pet tiger, you know, and then you had Michael Jackson. He had that pet monkey, you know what I mean? That chimp thing he had. Now, like, if you were going to get you now that you're a big time basser, and you were going to get yourself like an exotic pet, what would you get?
Well, real life. You know, I got me a mini-me. I got me a nice little human male. And I liked him so much, I got me another one coming in September.
Yeah, there you go. Congratulations.
That's exotic.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Exotic to say the least.
It's funny how somebody that's 2 foot tall and weighs 31 pounds can kick your ass. You know? I'm a grown ass man, and that little dude beats me up every day.
Puts a whooping on you. It's crazy how they do that. And wait till he gets older, man.
It's funny how he can control me with his little fingers are like that big, you know, and he just pushes me around. Whatever he wants to do, I just shut up and do it.
Hey, you used to be a sheriff. Is that true?
That's right. Sheriff's deputy, uniform patrol from 2001 until March of 2013.
Man, tell me a crazy sheriffing story.
Man, they got a bunch.
Well, tell me something crazy, dude. Get wild with us here.
I've seen a vehicle with a horse one time. One time we had to shoot a wild pig running down the road. I've seen somebody call 911 because somebody drank that apple juice.
What?
True story.
You don't steal somebody's juice.
They drank apple. They drank their buddy's apple juice, so they called 911.
True story.
Dude, I love watching Cops. I still get all sweaty when I watch Cops. It's pretty damn cool.
Cops don't play till 6.
I like live PD now. Live PD is better.
Live PD is awesome too.
Yeah, live PD is awesome.
I would like to see you on.
That's a good game, man. Hey, I tell you that I'm glad I did some time in law enforcement, and but I'm glad I'm out. Thankful for the guys that stayed in, but luckily for me, I found a way out doing something else that I really wanted to do. But that's a crazy game. If you've never been in it, you probably wouldn't understand. And I worked in a small area. I worked in a small parish. You know, we probably got very rural. It's a rural area. You know, so I seen some stuff. And them city cats, they earn every dollar they make.
They do.
Trust me.
It's crazy, man. You're kind of scared of the city, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not real big on the city. Anything over about 12,000 people, I try to go around it.
It gets crazy, man. I mean, that's like on the way back from Mike's, we were driving down that Broadway street in Camden. I mean, and it was like a live PD episode right there.
Camden, when we fished at the Detroit Delaware River, they told us not to stop in Camden. Like, don't stop. The only time you stop is at a red light. They didn't have to tell me twice.
No, that was all involved there. Hey, we had Greg Hackney on. Your buddy Hackney was on here not too long ago, and he told us about an experience he had in Louisiana with a chupacabra. You know
with a who?
Yeah, you know.
Chupacabra.
A chupacabra. That's a Mexican werewolf. You know what I'm saying? Oh. And he was dead serious, man. He's dead serious. Have you ever run into any crazy creatures in the swamp?
Of course, some alligators. Nothing. I hadn't found Bigfoot yet.
No,
I hadn't seen Bigfoot.
But anything you couldn't explain, like any crazy swamp stories, like swamp monsters or anything?
No, man. So if you're out there at night, sometimes you hear some noises that'll make you wonder. You kind of trying to figure out what you're hearing, but Luckily, I've never seen anything weird, really weird.
Except when you were a sheriff. That's all.
Yeah. It the swamp at the nighttime, it can make you wonder.
It can make
It don't make you like the. It don't make you like the daylight. It can be pretty weird. It can be cool too, man. It's a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun, but sometimes stuff happens. It's almost unexplainable. It kind of freak you out for a little bit.
Hey, Cliff, are you scared of deep water fishing? Deep water fishing?
I'd rather not do it, but it's definitely not my comfort zone.
Okay, I got you. Well, I mean, I'm intimidated by it. I hate deep water fishing myself, man. But what is it? What is it to you that's so intimidating about it?
What gets me is, a lot of times fish are, even shallow water or deep water, they own one piece of structure or set up a certain way. And when I get out off the bank and I start making that cast, and you look at how far that cast is compared to, and how much ground you cover, and compared to how many acres and acres and acres and acres you got to hit the spot, the size of a truck, it gets intimidating. The odds go way down. And, they got great electronics and maps and all that good stuff, but it's still intimidating. I'd rather be on something I can see and
it's too much work
and put my bait on.
I'm with you. I'm just not that smart to do it out there for too long, dude. I can't handle it. So you love shallow water fishing. I know you love flipping, and I know you like throwing that frog, man. Let's talk a little.
That frog is the best way to describe that frog fishing. It's kind of like an old high school buddy. He's cool to hang out with, and he's fun, but my God, that dude will get you in trouble. You know what I
mean? And why do you say that? Tell us why. What do you mean there?
Well, I mean, he's fun to hang out with, and he'll, show you a good time, and he'll put you in the top 10. But boy, when he starts acting crazy, he'll put you in the bottom 10 too.
Yeah.
And you turn around looking for backup. You're like, hey, buddy, what's going on? And just like your old high school buddy, he's gone. Can't find him. Don't answer for a couple weeks, And then he shows back up again out of nowhere. Hey, buddy, what's up? Let's go hang out. You're like, man, I can't hang with you. You put me in a bind. But he talks you into it, and you put him back in the game,
And then he eases his way back in again.
But you keep hanging out with him.
But you keep hanging out with him.
Right. It's like you keep throwing that frog.
So prime example, Dardanelle. Wanted to hang out, My buddy left me hanging in 105th place, you know what I mean? But the week before, he brought me to Sunday, finished 9th, so.
That's outstanding. How do you figure out when to throw a popping frog and when to throw a walking frog? What's your rule of thumb there?
My personal favorite, my confidence bait of the two is an original walking frog. I throw that one most of the time. The thing that is the big difference when I switch up is if the fish tell me. If the fish are choking that original, that walking frog down in their throat, and your knuckles are getting skin up, I'll keep throwing it. But if they start missing it or rolling on it, that's the big difference of when I change. It's just about listening to the fish, let them talk to you. So when they miss it or they're not biting it, they're just showing themselves. I'll make a change, and get a different retrieve of that popping frog.
And you love it. You love the frog.
I love him.
You love
I love it.
Hey, we're doing this thing on the Bookface Live, Cliff, and your fans got some questions for you. You ready?
Go ahead. I'll answer them the best I can.
Okay. Here we go. We're gonna hold you to that.
This is actually perfect timing. They're asking about frogs.
Okay.
We got a guy DW who's actually watching from an oil rig.
Nice.
In the Gulf of Mexico.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And
that's what I'm talking about.
He wants
I like that.
What's your go-to hollow belly frog?
My go-to hollow belly frog, and this is brutally honest because they don't pay me nothing. I'm not affiliated with them, but they do make a good bait, and that's a Spro Bronze Eye original.
Nice.
The Spro Bronze
That's the right
Eye
answer.
original.
And then we got Ivan watching. He wants to know what's the coldest temp you would throw a frog in. Coldest water temp.
50 degrees probably.
All right.
50, and then I would probably flirt with 48. I'd probably flirt with 45 until they didn't bite it. But I've caught them as cold as 50.
Nice. All right. Thank you.
I would tell you this about frog fishing. Y'all done got me going. I'm all pumped up.
Get
I'm
it.
starting
Keep
to-
going.
Get it.
I would tell you this about frog fishing. Don't look at the calendar. Depending on where you live at or weather conditions, don't look at the calendar and say, you got to wait till March to throw a frog. When that water temp gets about 50, 55, 60 or so, anywhere at 50 or above, you can throw it. I don't care if it's December or if it's April, whatever. If that water temperature's up, he's in the game.
As long as the fish are shallow, right? If they're shallow, they'll eat the frog.
Fish are shallow, and like if that water's 50 with a warming trend coming, you can get some bites on him. He may not be the main deal, but he may be, he may be able to complement another pattern.
Mm-hmm. What's your go-to line size for frog fishing? There's a lot of debate about 50-pound versus 65-pound. Does it really make a difference?
Yeah, it does. I personally throw 80.
Wow.
80-pound braid.
Okay.
And there's two reasons for that. The first one is you remove all doubt of breaking off. I mean, if you pop 80-pound braid, you got a bad line or spool of line, or you doing something wrong. You can't break 80. And another reason I like 80, probably the biggest reason why I like 80, is because when you casting that frog and skipping it, you're going to get backlashes and overruns and bird nests, whatever you call them. And that 80-pound braid is big enough to where it won't knot itself up so bad.
Gotcha.
It won't dig into itself. You can dig it out real easy. Where a backlash at 50 is going to be way worse than a backlash with 80-pound braid.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I like the bigger line. It I guess in this sense, a bigger line performs better for me.
I think it floats better too. It stays up on top better. I've used the 80 quite a bit, and you don't get the whip knots. You notice that too? Like with the 50, you get those whip knots in the guides, and with the 80, it almost never happens.
But I would tell you this: that's what I like. I got 50 rods on my boat. If a guy only has 4 rods that he fishes with, he can get by with 50. That way he can flip with it, frog with it, throw a chatterbait with it. You can get by with it. But I've learned, for me, I personally like 80.
And speaking of rods, what's the ideal frog rod?
My frog rod that I throw is a Falcon Cara Amistad. It's a 7'2", number 7, and it's got a lot of power, but it's got a lot of tip too. It's not a real heavy rod. It's got a lot of tip to it, and that's important in throwing a frog and working a frog. With heavy rods, you can't get that tip. You can't cast. You can't skip it, and working it too. It's tough for the hard rod. Another reason why I like that rod is got a little tip to it, so that when I set the hook, that tip can suck up some of that hook set, and I don't yank the fish out of the water. Because most of the time, a fish that comes out of the water on a hook set, those fish are 50-50. You lose some of them. So
yeah.
I want 70% of that rod to have some backbone, but I want about 30% of that tip, to suck up some of the power of that hook set.
Something got to give.
Something got to give.
Something got to give.
The tip of the rod is better than the fish coming off.
Yeah, you don't want it to be the lip.
Hey, remember when back in the day when you used to hang out at the bars? You remember that?
Yeah, I did that a little bit.
You did that a little bit. And there's a game that we used to play in the bars. And around here, the game that we played was called Marry Kill. Did you ever play that game?
No.
It's called, I'll tell you to it again. It's called the game we Marry Kill. I'm getting censored by the internet police right now, but so
I see that.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a little game here now. It's a bar game, but now we're making it a bass fishing game. Okay.
All right.
And so I'm gonna give you 3 famous Louisiana women. All right. And you got to tell me which one you're gonna go fishing with, which one you're gonna marry. Now I know you're a happily married man. This is totally fictitious, but you got to tell me which one of these women you're gonna go fishing with, which one you're gonna marry, and which one's getting thrown out of the boat. All right.
All right.
All right. So now here's your choices, and these are all Louisiana women. right here. Isn't that a Merle Haggard song or something like that? Louisiana Woman? I don't know.
Conway Twitty.
Conway Twitty. Okay, there it is. I got my Hank 3. You listen to Hank 3 at all?
No.
Dude, you got to listen to some Hank Williams 3. That is the deal.
I like Junior.
Yeah, Junior's great too, but his boy Hank 3, he's the deal. Hey, okay, right here. Here's the 3 famous Louisiana women. One of them you're going to marry, one of them you're going to go fishing with, and one of them you're going to throw out of the boat. Your first choice, Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres. She's a Louisiana woman. Your next choice, Britney Spears. One of Louisiana's trailer park's finest, Britney Spears. The next one, close and near and dear to all our hearts, Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock. Famous Louisiana women. Sandra Bullock, Ellen DeGeneres, and Britney Spears. Which one are you going to go fishing with? Which one are you going to marry? And which one's going for a swim?
Ellen's going swimming.
Okay.
I'll go fishing with Britney Spears, and I'll marry Sandra Bullock.
Hey, marry Sandra Bullock. There it is, right there. Okay, congratulations.
You know, one of them's getting thrown out automatically. The other 2 you could change up, and I'd be fine with that.
So if you were like a Mormon or something from that, what's that state that the Mormons are from? Utah.
Yeah.
So if you were like from Utah, you could have a couple wives.
Yeah, Ellen's getting thrown out for sure.
I'm with you there. I can't stand when she dances.
She can just dance in the water.
She's gonna scare the damn fish anyway. That's all there is to it. What's the dumbest bass you ever caught, Cliff?
The dumbest bass I've ever caught. It's a true story. I was fishing a tournament with a buddy at home, and I got off the trolling motor, and I reached in the rod box to grab a rod, and I was grabbing a Texas rig with no bait on it, and I unhooked the hook from my reel, and unwrapped my rod, and the bait fell in the water. I said the hook and the weight fell in the water by a tree, and I get on the trolling motor to swing the boat out to the middle of the bayou, and I pick the rod up, and I got a fish on it.
That's a dum-dum right there. That's a stupid fish.
That's a real.
I got another stupid fish I'll tell you about.
Yeah,
I was at Gunnersville in this cut, punching some mats, and I was on the trolling motor on 100 straight 36 plowing through this grass, and I had made a flip and got caught in the grass, and I pulled it, and like an ounce and a half bait comes and flies right at the foot of the trolling motor that I'm standing on, wide open. And I have been for about 30 seconds. And the bait goes through the mat right by the trolling motor. And I go to pick up my slack to make another flip. And as I pick up my slack, I catch a fish. There's a fish sitting on the bait. I'm like, I've been plowing on the trolling motor. And this dude's just sitting here, like in the prop wash. And I catch him.
Total dum-dums.
Did you have the hydro wave on?
Yeah.
Not have the hydro wave on, but those 2 fish, I wish, and I pray for them. A lot of days at about 2:15, I'm praying to see them again.
Hoping they pay you a visit like that old high school buddy.
Yeah. Sometimes they show up, but most of the time, he leaves you hanging. You know what I mean?
Do you think that, with that being said, those 2 stories, that sometimes we give these fish too much credit, man?
Man, I don't know. I think they sometimes I wonder if they're idiots or if they're geniuses. Sometimes they act like they're stupid, like they have no idea what's going on, and other times they act like they some kind of professor, that know everything. Hey, y'all see what's going on? Can you see what's going on right here?
No, what's that? It looks like a hotel room.
I see the hotel room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that. That's what goes on. That's behind the scenes. That's things are going on. Everybody's eating supper. Big boys are here. This is the place to be.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
that's
man.
the glamour.
Who's hanging out in the room right now? You by yourself?
By myself.
Man, are you missing your buddies for this?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, business first. Come out, and talk to the fans. You know, be on a Stray Cat show. I mean, you do what you got to do. You know what I mean?
And we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on here, man. Hey, you know we're all about fun and games here, right? You know that, right?
Yes, right.
You ever been on a game show, Cliff?
Never.
You're gonna be on a game show right now. Right
Let's do
now.
it.
Are you ready? We are going
I'm
to
ready.
play What's on Your Mind. This is a game called What's on Your Mind. So I'm going to ask you something, and you tell me the first thing that comes to your brain, that Cajun brain of yours.
All right.
All right, you ready? All right. It's time to play What's on Your Mind with the Cajun baby, Cliff Crochet. Coming to you live from iCast. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. Cliff, the first thing to you. First word, swamp gas. Swamp gas.
Swamp gas.
Yeah.
Man, I'm thinking sinkhole.
Sinkhole. There's a sinkhole. Like that soft plastic bait, the Cinco, that Gary Yamamoto made?
Said
No,
sinkhole.
sinkhole.
Oh,
Like swallow up houses and shit.
There it is right there. Cliff, let it marinate. Let it marinate.
Steaks.
Steaks. Okay. Well, you're hungry. I can tell. Raking rats. Raking rats.
Raking rats.
Yeah.
Mississippi River lacrosse.
Tell us
Mississippi River at Lacrosse, Wisconsin.
what's that mean? Tell us why you say that.
Catch a lot of small fish.
A lot of small fish. Raking the rats at lacrosse. I can't believe he got away with that. I can't. OJ.
No hesitation.
Okay, here. Cliff Crochet's guilty pleasure. What's your guilty pleasure?
Tobacco, no doubt.
Tobacco. The old chew tobacco.
Yeah.
I saw you send one flying over that USS Battleship New Jersey. It came back and hit that fat woman in the jaw.
Was that awesome?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Man, check this out. I guess I'm not really proud of it, but you know, it is what it is. I have been dipping tobacco since I'm 15 years old, and I've thrown probably 1 million dips out of my mouth. You hit them on the cement, you know.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you get a little axe, you know, and you sling it, you know.
Sure.
As far
I
as
do
you
the
can
same.
or whatever. You know, sling it. That's the first one I've ever thrown, and it come back like a boomerang.
And it hit that big gal right in the jaw. Knocked her sideways.
I was, I didn't think a hurricane would be blowing through, you know, at the time. But it was weird. I mean, you saw a hurricane comes out of nowhere. It was a good afternoon on the river, good night. Everybody's hanging out, mingling. Here comes a hurricane.
Hurricane Ike came blowing through.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to totally massacre this one, but Boudin, or Adoulet. Boudin, way better.
Yeah.
Way better. Did I say Adoulet right?
Annulé?
Yeah. That's exactly how I said it.
That is not true.
Boudin.
Tell me the word for dogfish again.
Shoe pig.
Food pig. That's an old food
Shoe
pig.
pig.
It's a shoe pig.
Shoe pig.
If the shoe pigs wear it, that's what I'm saying. Hey, I know you got stuff to do, man, and we really do appreciate you coming on this show here, Cliff, as well as your fans appreciate it, man. Do you got anything you want to say to the fans or to your sponsors out there before we get the hell out of here?
Yeah, you know, the sponsors are important. I deal with some good companies. You know, we talk about K2 and Rattle Trap, Lucky Strike, etc. I don't want to name them all, and they good to me. But dude, the fans drive the sport. The fans buy the stuff. The fans run the business. And I'm lucky enough to have some that pull for me and really like me. And as much as they like me, I love them that much more. So.
That is outstanding, Cliff. Best of luck to you, man, and safe travels on the rest of the Elite Series. And we'll see you. We'll run into you over at St. Clair when you guys come up.
Yeah,
Detroit.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
I might just invite myself to come back like monthly.
Yeah,
just hang out for a minute, you know.
Yeah, dude, you come on here anytime you want. This show is all fun stew and giggles dumplings. You know, we're gonna have Crochet's Corner. And next you're gonna
We'll
knit.
do like every second Tuesday of the month or something.
Yeah.
We built this for you. It's like Field of Dreams.
In fact, we're gonna have crocheting with Cliff Crochet. You're gonna knit blankets and shit.
I'll jack that up, man.
Hey, enjoy the rest of iCast, man. Tell everybody we said hi, and thanks again. We will see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
All right, dude. That's Cliff Crochet. He's a Bassmaster Elite Series superstar, and he just graced us with his presence on this Straight Cast Bass Buzzing show. Hey, there's another episode right there. I mean, wow, that went kaboom.
Yeah.
Didn't we just get here?
That was kaboom.
Hey, I want to say a special thanks to some guys in New Jersey, Mike and Becky Iconelli, Brian Stockel, and Jim Fish 3 for the hospitality that they showed Andrew Ellenberger and I over the weekend. What a phenomenal time. Thank you so much to all you watching out there. Thank you to the sponsors. Hey, without you guys, we are absolutely nothing. We really appreciate it. We are off next week, but we are back. What's the next date?
The week after that.
So what is that? Like next week's the 19th, and then plus 7 is, let me math this, 26th.
Yeah.
We're back on July 26th, and we're going to get Zal Dangerous with you, with Chris and Trait Zaldane. So, hey, we'll see you then, July 26th. And until then, we bid you peace and bass wishes. I'm Pat Renwick. I'm out.
Yeah.